I want to check out Hartwick Pines. That's a nice state park from what I
It's
understand.
beautiful. It's beautiful. The virgin pines that are there, you got to see these while they're still around. I know one has blown down in the 16 years I've been here. These trees are 400 years old and more, so this can't go on forever. But go see those trees while they're still there. It's amazing.
Grayling is home to Michigan's largest state park in the Lower Peninsula. It is 9,672 acres, encompasses rolling hills built of ancient glacial deposits, and overlook the valley of the East Branch of the Au Sable River. Yet the first magical thing you'll notice when you arrive is its old-growth timber. It is also a stop on the Au Sable Birding Trail. Craig, we haven't been up to this park many times, but we hear it as a premier park in the state park system.
For sure.
What makes it so unique?
Well, it's one of the largest parks in the northern Lower Peninsula. So we've been around. There's places for people to explore. Whether you've been here once, twice a year, haven't been here in 5 years, you can still go somewhere and still have not seen the entire park. So I think that's one of the alluring things. Also, because we've been a state park since 1937, people have been coming here for generations, and so. The kids that were here are now grandparents, and they bring their kids and they bring their grandkids, and I remember when this tree was, and that kind of thing.
Its visitor center is open year-round. The exhibit hall inside the visitor center explores Michigan's forests on a journey through time, beginning with the Ice Age. As we begin our exploration of the forest, we are reminded of Michigan's past importance to the pine lumber industry. Keep a lookout for interpretive signs along the way. Foresters today can use this forest as a source of inspiration for the future of our woodlands. Craig, what are we going to see here?
Well, we're going to go through 3 different forest types, and that's kind of significant in the sense that right now we're in a deciduous or northern hardwood forest, pretty typical here in northern Michigan. But as we make our way down the trail, we start to get to our old growth forest, and that is 49 acres of old growth white pine and red pine, 350 to 400 years old. So wow. It changes. Topography changes. The diversity of plant and animal and bird species change. It's a dynamic place.
All inside this little ecosystem,
just along this trail,
huh?
1 mile trail.
By studying the variety of trees, much is being learned regarding the insects, pests, and disease leading to the preservation of a particular species. We came down the trail. We're almost to the end of it, or at least almost to the logging museum, but I noticed that we've got a little chapel here in the woods. Mm-hmm. What's the story on this?
So Chapel in the Woods of the Pines, it was built in the early 50s by an anonymous donation, and to honor one of the founding members of the Kiwanis Club.
Ah.
And the cool thing about this, though, I did some research on it. This one, the gentleman who's the anonymous donor, and 2 other guys got together and decided when they died, they wanted to erect a chapel in their favorite state park. Oh. So this gentleman passed on. His kids came and approached the state and said, we want to put this chapel here. Our fathers wanted this. And at that time, they were like, that sounds great. The other 2 guys died. There's no other chapels. This was the only one that was built. There should be 2 very similar to this in other state parks. It doesn't say which state parks they were supposed to be in, but I just don't know what happened to that money that was earmarked by that family. The kids were like, let's go buy a boat or something.
Go to Vegas.
We'll go to Vegas, we'll do something, but we're not building a chapel. But so it is. It is very unique, and we get folks that have renewed their wedding vows or have their weddings here.
While it is obvious the park is rich in scenic beauty, the educational opportunities that abound can be found around every bend. Have you ever asked or been asked, what kind of tree is that? Learning while making memories is another reason to enjoy this outdoor sanctuary. Learning continues as we arrive at the logging museum area. What a thrill to experience how our ancestors earned a living, the conditions they endured, and why Michigan has been invaluable in the timber industry. I see, looking down this way now, we've got another building down there, plus we got a few other things. What is this about?
Right, well, way back there is our steam-powered sawmill, and that runs twice a year. We have 2 annual events. We have many annual events, but the 2 biggest ones are Wood Shaving Days, 3rd weekend in July, and Black Iron Days, which is the 4th weekend in August. and that steam-powered sawmill runs. And the blade goes, we take logs and we cut them into boards. As we come this way, though, we have 3 of the old equipment that they used to make the iced roads. As I mentioned earlier, they only did this in the wintertime, on the onset of the logging era. And so they had to get these logs to the river banks to have the log drives. Well, they would have sleighs, and so you'd have to have an iced packed road. And the first red machine over there is a snow roller, and they would roll this and pack the snow. The next one is a rutter sled, and they would take ruts and put ruts along the side. Then the sleigh could be right on top of there. The last one is the sprinkler sled, and they would move that along and spray water on it.
Icing it up.
Let it overnight, it freezes, they come back the next day, and it's nice smooth track with ruts, and you'd load your logs. The horses would pull the logs to the side of the river and wait for springtime for the snow melt. Then they'd roll the logs down and carry them down the river.
Sounds like an antique ski trail or snowmobile trail by the sound, you know, I mean, it's the same principle.
With no brakes, with no brakes.
Oh, so that wouldn't be a lot of fun.
On a slope, it was very dangerous. Up in west of Gaylord, there's Dead Man's Hill.
I know it.
And that's the whole story about them going down a nice road with that log jam coming down behind those horses. And yeah, it happened a lot.